Welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving straight into a visual journey through a city where ancient history and Georgian luxury brilliantly, and I mean absolutely brilliantly, collide. We're talking about Bath, a truly unique British city. As we go through these real photos together, I want you to look closely at the landmarks and the physical details. They literally make this place a dual-era time machine. Let's quickly map out our itinerary for today. We'll be looking at 1. A World Heritage Jewel. 2. Ancient Roman roots. 3. The Georgian architecture era. 4. Jane Austen's complicated relationship. And 5. Bath in the modern era.
Section 1. A World Heritage Jewel.
Okay, so this timeline right here perfectly anchors us in space and time. Just look at the massive leap we're dealing with. We go from the Roman engineering of the baths, built around 60 to 70 AD, all the way to 1767 with the foundation of the Royal Crescent, and then 1774 when the Pulteney Bridge was completed. This incredibly preserved dual identity is exactly what earned Bath its UNESCO World Heritage status back in 1987.
Now, it's pretty wild to think about, but it took a unique trio of visionaries to completely reshape the city in the 18th century. We've got John Wood Sr., the architect, Ralph Allen, the entrepreneur and quarry owner who provided that iconic local limestone, and Richard Beau Nash, the master of ceremonies who basically shaped the social scene. The really mind-blowing part? They transformed the city into this harmonious landscape without a single overarching master plan. They just logically built upon each other's work over a century.
Section 2. Ancient Roman roots.
So the crucial point to remember here is the number 60. Between 60 and 70 AD, the Romans engineered an absolutely incredible heating and bathing complex right around the area's natural hot springs. And looking at the real stonework we still see today, it's just amazing that the original Roman plumbing and ancient infrastructure are remarkably still capable of holding those steaming, mineral-rich waters.
But, it wasn't all just relaxing at the spa for the Romans. Archaeologists actually found 130 Roman curse tablets down there. These were personal prayers inscribed on small sheets of lead or pewter and then cast right into the hot springs. These tablets give us a remarkably intimate and honestly a pretty dark glimpse into the daily lives and grievances of Bath's ancient citizens. I mean, one of them is literally the earliest known text in the Brittonic language.
Section 3. Georgian Architecture Era.
Fast forward to the 18th century. To really understand Bath's visual identity, we have to look at Palladian architecture. This is a highly symmetrical, classical design style that was deeply inspired by the grandeur of ancient Roman and Greek temples. It's this uniform, honey-colored architectural style that gave Bath its breathtaking visual homogeneity. You can see it across all of its elegant crescents and squares.
And if you want to understand the sheer scale of that ambition, just think of the number 114. That is the exact number of imposing Ionic columns you'll find sweeping across the famous Royal Crescent. Let me put that into perspective for you. Each one of those columns measures 30 inches in diameter and reaches an incredible 47 feet high. It creates this monumental sweep of 30 townhouses laid out in a perfect half circle, which was started in 1767.
Next up, check out the Pulteney Bridge, crossing the River Avon. Completed in 1774 and designed by Robert Adam, it was built entirely in that Palladian style we just talked about. But here's the coolest part. Those aren't just decorative facades in the photos. Those are real shops built right into the structure across the full span on both sides. That makes it one of only 4 such bridges in the entire world.
And when the Georgian elite weren't promenading over the bridge or taking the waters, they were right here, the assembly rooms. Completed in 1771 by John Wood the Younger, this was the fashionable heart of high society. Just look at the intricate plasterwork and those massive, gorgeous chandeliers in this space. This was the absolute epicenter for the elite to mingle, gossip, and dance the night away.
Section 4. Jane Austen's complicated relationship.
Speaking of gossip, we have to talk about Bath's most famous Georgian resident, Jane Austen. You'd probably assume she loved living in this architectural marvel, right? Well, actually scratch that. Her perspective was quite different. She famously called it vapor, shadow, smoke, and confusion, the most tiresome place in the world. Ouch. When her father abruptly moved the family there in 1801, she developed a really deep, cynical disdain for the city's shallowness and social climbing.
So the expectation is usually that Austen was highly productive in this beautiful, inspiring city. But the reality? She barely wrote at all. She did start a novel called The Watsons, but she eventually just abandoned it. However, the silver lining is that all the scandals and vanity she witnessed during those 5 unhappy years served as brilliant generative material later on for her iconic novels like Persuasion and Northanger Abbey.
And honestly, the irony today is just palpable. Modern Bath, obsessively and quite lucratively, celebrates an author who absolutely could not wait to leave. I mean, they boast the Jane Austen Center, annual Regency costume festivals where people literally flood the streets in period dress, parasol and fan language workshops, and even Bridgerton-style Regency walking tours. The contrast between expectation and reality here is highly entertaining.
Section 5. Bath in the Modern Era.
Bringing things back to the present day, let's look at the modern Thermae Bath Spa. The amazing thing is you can actually still take the waters today. It's an incredible way to participate in a 2,000-year-old wellness tradition, but elevated by modern luxury. You can literally soak in natural hot springs in a modern rooftop pool while taking in panoramic views of the ancient city's skyline.
If you're putting together a perfect modern itinerary, here is what you need to do. First, admire the gorgeous Gothic architecture of Bath Abbey. Then, relax in Sydney Gardens and Victoria Park. You absolutely have to taste history at the legendary Sally Lunn's Bun Bakery. And of course, shop at the historic Guildhall Market. And, best of all, these landmarks prove that Bath is a fully immersive, multi-sensory experience that is incredibly accessible. Just a quick hour-and-a-half train ride from London.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a question to ponder. Looking at the 2 distinct eras we've explored today, which version of this magical time machine city would you most want to step into? Would it be the ancient, steamy Roman thermal baths, or would you prefer attending a high-society Georgian ball? Let that sink in, stay curious, and keep exploring.